Hello, welcome to Take Two Tuesday. Hi, this is Ken here at Stamps of Life in Southern California. Kind of gloomy Southern California right now. Welcome to Take Two Tuesday. It looks like everything is running so far, so good. I checked on YouTube. I think some people are seeing me there. And then Facebook, I know at least one person. Paula is there on Facebook. Hi, Paula. Let's see over here, Amanda and Diane, Antoinette, MN Worm, Stephanie, Jan. Welcome everyone, Laura. Thanks everyone for joining me today. Let's see, things are going good here. I hope you had a nice holiday weekend. You enjoyed your Memorial Day. Hopefully you were able to spend some time with family. I know some people did celebrate with parades or going to cemeteries or different ways to honor our soldiers, people who have given their lives to our country. So before we just leave that behind, thank you if you are a family who lost a family member in combat or serving our country. We're grateful for all of you and for your family and what you have done for us. And then for those who are serving too, want to just say one more time, thank you very, very much. We enjoy living in our country and the freedom we have, and we are really blessed. And so we're grateful for you. It means a lot to us. All right, let's see. So far the stream is doing good. I've got my record hit, and I think all my sound effect. Let me turn that sound off. We don't want to get an extra playback. We are going to look at some fun. I always forget to do this, but maybe this is your first time watching. And if somebody is here for the first time watching, I would love it if you would jump in on the chat and say, hey, I'm new here. My name's Ken. I work here at the Stamps of Life, one of the owners, and I kind of run things around the warehouse. We do this episode called Take Two Tuesday, where we go back in the past and we look at some items from the Stamps of Life that are a little bit older. So perhaps if you are new to the Stamps of Life, you're not even aware of these items. So this is a chance for you to review them and take a look. We'll show some card samples. I'll do some real quick demos, show you how easy these items are to work with. Maybe it's something you would like to add to your collection, your card making collection. Some of these items work really good on scrapbook pages. One of the items you can turn into a little box type gift. Or not necessarily gift, like a treat box. You could give a little present in it if you wanted to. So that will be fun. These are kind of spring, summer themed items we'll be looking at today. And then also for you who have been here for a long time, this is a reminder that you might have some of these items already in your stash. And this is a chance, a little refresher to help you remember to bring out something from the past that you haven't used for a while. Maybe it's just forgotten. I always figure it's at the back of a drawer or the bottom of a closet, and you have just forgotten that you had it. So as we take a look at this and do this little review, maybe this will spark some interest in something that you already have. And then always remembering that a lot of the new items that come out from the Stamps of Life, they work also really well with some of the items from the past. So you can often mix and match the items that I'll be sharing with you today. All right, so that kind of gives us a view of where we're started. We'll have some facts, fun facts. I do have a little short video that's kind of fun for one of the items. And then towards the end, I'm still aiming, I would like to get this under an hour. It seems like we're always coming in around an hour and 10 or hour and 15 minutes. And I would like to get that down to about an hour. So I'm trying. Maybe it's just I'm a little bit slow on the die cutting or stamping or some of that. But hopefully we'll be around an hour, and towards the end of the hour we'll have our kind of good news segment. We'll get out our Bibles. We'll be in the Old Testament today, and we're going to start with the 10 commandments. So we will look at the first commandment today, and we'll just start going through those for probably one a week for the next 10 weeks and see how we can incorporate these commandments from God into our lives. And yeah, that will be fun. So if you have a Bible, get ready, prepared for that. That'll be Exodus chapter 20. And I think our main verse is around verse 3, but we'll look a little before and after that in context. And yeah, we'll have some fun. All right, let's get going. Our first item, let's start with we have a fold it die set. This is our Sailboat fold it die set. It was, let me see if I can get my slide over here. I always forget to have this prepared. first off, here's my name. I'll put it there for a second. No, that's not good. Let's see. What did I do? That's me, Ken. I forgot to add my name tag. And then, well, let's see, we're not going to stick with that. We're going to get to our first item. That is our sailboat. Sailboat folded from June of 2020. So just about exactly 4 years old on this one. Good chance many of you have it. It's a popular and easy one to use. So we're going to take a look at that. Now, if you know, Stephanie had No Makeup Monday yesterday, and we have done some, or we're in the process still of upgrading our website. So our goal is hoping that the website is going to run a lot smoother in the future, especially on the days that we have big sales. So you won't just be stuck there wondering if your order will go through. Let's see. You'll be able to hopefully process the orders faster, waiting time less. But in the meantime, we're in this progress where we're kind of moving our website from one house to another. And so when you move, you know, not everything comes together all at once at the same time, right? So perhaps, you know, you get one room moved, and then you got to get the power turned on, and then you connect the internet, and you know how all the different things you have to do when you move. Well, that's kind of what we're in the process of doing right now. So I see right now, for me, the website is working good. But about 15 minutes ago on my other computer, I couldn't even get on the website. So it's kind of rolling out in stages and from different parts of the USA and also different parts of the world. So you might hit today and maybe even through tomorrow, you might hit some times where you cannot get on our website for a little bit. It's okay. They're trying to refresh and move things, and hopefully everything will be up and running really soon. Right now, like I said, for me, it's going good. So I am not sure how you are doing. I hope if you want it for fun, click on the Stamps of Life website and let me know. Are you able to get on the website today? Yesterday when we did No Makeup Monday, a lot of people were saying they were able to get on the website and it seemed faster to them. And at first, that's how it seemed to me too. But then the next time I went to use it yesterday afternoon, I couldn't even get on the website at all. So I was in one of those segments where it must have been closed down, and then they were in the process of upgrading some things. So little by little, it'll get pieced together. Ideally, today, tomorrow, it'll be fully implemented. I'm sure there's always going to be some bugs, but our goal is to get a better website, faster website, and a website that will be more fun for you to use. You won't have to spend so much time waiting. That's the goal. We'll see when we have a big sale how it really turns out. But it will be interesting. It will be challenging, but this is just things we have to deal with in life, right? Life will go on. We'll get through it, but hopefully it will work out really nice where you are. And for those of you who it might be not working so good, just hang in there. It's a process, but it should work out for the best. Okay, so I do have access to the website. I was wondering if this was going to work for me today. I could have still gone on, but I wouldn't be able to show you all the fun things from our website. So we are going to take a look at this on the website, the Sailboat. Let me see if I can draw that over. And yes, I have had a cold. I think I'm getting, where am I? I think I'm almost 100% over it, but not quite. But I'm feeling a lot better, so that's good. So if you prayed for me or just had get well thoughts, thank you so much, because I am on the mend, but the last couple of months have been hard for me. I've been sick twice for 10, 14 days each time, and I usually don't get sick that much. So that's what's frustrating. Or when I do get sick, I recover really fast, and I've been trying to take extra vitamins and vitamin B and just doing some extra things, sleeping a little bit more, and yeah, I just can't quite totally get over it, but I am getting there. Okay, so here we are, Sailboat. It says it includes 2 dies. Let's see. Yep, no, it's right. I see the outside die and the inside die. And we do have some card samples here on the website. We'll scroll through those. Always fun to see what the design team has made. So you get the the big outside die. Whoops. If you can see here, this outside part is going to do the main work to fold it. And then this section here is for your decorative dies, where you can kind of paper piece together and get some different colors so you don't have an all one color sailboat. And so 2 dies, fold it, you know, are super easy. I think I have that one. That's an example of a box. Oh, no, that was not a box. Box it. Nope. These are all just fold-its that I see. So different ideas. That there it is on a card front. There's the box it. That's the one I was thinking of. And as a fold it, and back to the beginning. Let's see here. Where are we? Okay. So we've got that on the website. And I do have a couple of the samples to share with you here. So let me show you those. I always say like more in person, but we're still on TV, right? So I think they look a little bit better when I display them on the table than when we just look at them on the website. But that being said, it's not like I'm really handing this to you and you're getting to see it in person and touch it and spin it around and all, you know. That's more exciting, but we're doing the best we can. All right, so let me go ahead and set up some samples here for you. We'll run through those, and then I will do a couple die cuts with this sailboat folded die set for you. Oh, let's see. Before we go on, and I show you those samples, I did have some fun facts interesting facts about sailing. Let's see. Ooh, where did it took away my interesting facts? All right. Sailboats go way back in time. Like they could be 4,000 to 6,000 years old. So like back in the Egyptian times, 4,000 BC or something, people would sail and try to trade things. And so it was very kind of rudimentary. Probably, you know, a bunch of logs tied together, and they would figure out how to put up something to catch the wind. And they would do their best to get out there and sail. Now it's asking me questions. No, don't. They're asking me, do I own a boat? Nope. I don't. Oh boy, let's see. Go to see our guide. What's happened here? And then the newer, more modern type of sailboats were like the ones we're a little more familiar with are like the last 200 years, like the late 1700s. Let's see, now my link is not working, so let me see if I can find that. Well, I'm finding this. My question for you about this would be, have you ever sailed a boat yourself, or like as part of a team where you're working with somebody maybe who really knows what they're doing and they kind of lead and direct? So have you ever sailed a boat? Do you have a sailboat? Have you ever been on a team out sailboating, or maybe you went sailboating for fun? I do remember, like, I've been on like little cruises, the catamaran types, where everybody else is kind of doing the work, but you have sails, but I think they are just really pretty much running the engine. That's what I think. And then I do recall now one time going out with my uncle and my cousin, and my uncle is a very good sailor and experienced. And we went out, and he was trying to show, I think my cousin knew what he was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing. And I remember getting knocked in the head a couple times. You know how when you switch directions, I guess the mast, or I'm not sure what it is, the bar that holds the bottom of the sail's going up and down. You have this one bar that swings back and forth. I remember like getting whacked a couple times by that bar. I don't think my uncle warned me, and it didn't feel very good. So I kind of have not had a super lot of interest in sailing. But I still like the water and the ocean and everything. If somebody were to take me out, great. But to do it myself, I don't think I would know what I am doing. So have you ever had an experience on a sailboat that's been fun? Or maybe like me, where you got knocked upside the head, or I hope not overboard, but it's always possible, right? So anyway, our interesting facts about sailboats. It says it's a popular sport. Sailboats are slow, but they're efficient. They usually the average sailboat cruises around. Why does this website keep doing this to me? It's giving me all these ads, and I just want the main content. They go about 4 to 7 miles an hour. But if you're like on one of those super fast ones, the catamarans, where they have a couple of holes, those can go up to 60 miles an hour. Wow. So those are the really racing kind of boats. Let me close this. Oh no. Well, they're trying to block all my content. This is a bummer. Let's see. What else? Oh, you would think trade winds. Have you ever heard of trade winds? That's how they kind of would find their paths across the ocean. I always thought it had to do with trade, like they would be trading items. But no, it's the word used to be kind of related to path or track. So the trade winds are kind of referring to, in the oceans, they have streams of water that run in certain directions. And if you can catch these, obviously it moves your boat a lot faster. So trade winds really have to do with that. And then it says the ideal speed is 8 to 12 knots, which is like, I think around 10 miles an hour. And let's see, what else can we find out about sailboats? You can't, this is crazy. You could operate a 100-foot sailboat alone. You would have to be super experienced, but it says for most sailors, you want to stay under 35 foot. Like with a 100-foot boat, I think you'd be running all around, and you would really have to know exactly what you're doing. 35 foot, I think the items, the parts of the boat you have to deal with would just be closer, so that would make sense, right? There's been people who have sailed around the world alone. Let's see, the youngest person to sail around the world was a 16-year-old, and it was a girl, 16-year-old girl named Laura. I think she was from the Netherlands. She went around the world on her own. And then there was Jessica Watson from, let's see, on her 17th birthday. She did it around the world. Let's see, what was the record? They don't put this record in the Guinness Book of World Records, it says, because they don't want people going out and trying it on their own, because it's kind of risky. So I'm sure these people, these teenagers, they must have had some kind of plan. I bet they had like safety boats or guide boats with them. I can't imagine any kids going out sailing by them. I think they were on the boat by themselves, but I'm sure they had a team of people with them. And so some kid would go, I want to beat that record. And they're like 13 years old, and they'll go out there and hop in a boat and just take off from Australia and do it all on their own. That would be crazy. It probably wouldn't turn out too good. So the Guinness Book of World Records does not list the world records for the youngest age sailing around the world. Let's see, have you ever heard the term feeling blue? Like, I feel blue today. We kind of think it's like sad or something, right? So this is a sailing term. It's if a ship lost its captain during a voyage, the sailors would sail blue flags, indicating their loss. So if you're feeling blue, you're actually referring to the blue flags that used to sign the ship's crew. It was in mourning. So that was a flag that they would fly up when their captain was lost. I don't know if he went overboard or if he just came to an end, but there you go. So if you're feeling blue, that has to do with sailing. Let's see, sailing's been in the Olympics since late 1800s. Obviously, the ocean is super salty. Let's see, we know that. Just so you know, the saltiest ocean in the world is the Mediterranean, and they go by percent, 3.8%. And the least salty is the Southern Ocean. I don't know where the Southern Ocean, I never heard of that one. And the Northern Pacific, that I can figure out. And they're like, it's pretty close. So if the Mediterranean's 3.8, the Northern Pacific's about 3.4. And the Caribbean is around 3.6 to 3.7. It doesn't seem like that much difference to me. It seems like salt water is just salt water. I think salty water can help you float better, but once you get in your mouth, I don't know if you've been to the ocean, it is salty. You cannot drink it, or yuck, it burns your eyes, all that kind of stuff. So salt water, not good. And most of the world is a super high percentage of the world's water is salt water. I think that might be listed here. Let's find out. The first person to navigate the world alone was a guy named Joshua Slocum in 1898. How long did it take him? It doesn't say how long it took him to do that. But he was the first to do it alone in 1898. Let's see, what else do we have on sailboats? I think that's about it. There's a big old sailboat around 470 feet long. That's huge. It's not really like a real sailboat. They have a motor, and I think it has sails on it. What else? I think that's it. That's enough for sailboats, right? The smallest boat to sail around the world was 21 feet. That's pretty small. Oh, and it took, this person did it in 270 days. It says, which is not fast. No, that's about 3/4 of a year, right? To go around the ocean, but in a tiny boat. I'm surprised it could hold together for all that time, really, to be honest with you. But they did it. Yes, I know the Dead Sea is super, super. I see Dreadnick says that. Yeah, the Dead Sea, like nothing can live in there, my understanding. And that it'll really make you like float. I think without doing anything. So that's why they call it the Dead Sea, because I think it all backs up and stops up and there's no way for it to drain out. This is what I've heard. And this river, I think it's the Jordan River, runs into it and it just keeps building up and building up, but there's nowhere for it to go out. And there's no fish, there's no life, my understanding, in the Dead Sea. 34% salt, that's crazy. So mostly the world is salt water, but we need fresh water to live, right? Okay, enough of that. Let me get switched over to our sample. Sorry about that, I got a little bit sidetracked. Maybe that's why the show goes so long, but anyway, it's fun to chit chat a little bit too, right? All right, let's see, here we go. All right, our samples from Sailboat Fold It. We'll go through a bunch of them here. Most of these we did see on the website, but there are a few little extra surprises and some nice basic ones, but just gives you some ideas how you can. Most of these are done on a white background and then they are paper pieced together using the inside die that you get on from the Stamps of Life. I'm seeing my camera has a bit of a blue tint over there, but I think that's really what it looks like in here, because I have a big blue light behind me, so I think that's reflecting and causing some of the white to look a little bit blue. So you see that kind of light blue? It's actually probably really white. Here it is being used on a card front. Just a standard size A2 card there. Here's another one for a party card. Maybe you're going out on a little cruise on a boat. That would be fun. Way to get out an invitation, right? And we have a couple more here. Now you remember with this on the Stamps of Life Fold Its, you have the options. Let me show you. So here, this one is folds on the top, right? That folds on the top. You have the option of also doing your fold on the side, so it opens more like a standard like type of card. So you have that option too. And we have, this is what it's a baby shower. We've got our little, I think that's our pudgy monkey there. And here's a fun sailboat right there. So these would be fun for springtime, summer. Maybe if you're having a little beach party or a lake party, you could use these dies. You would have a great time. Fun. Excuse me. Let me turn this off real quick. Hit my cough button there. Okay, we will jump over. I will show you a couple things we can do with these. I'll get the main die out. We won't work with the inside, but at least I can show you what's, excuse me. I'm sorry. Can't quite get rid of that cough. And I bring that out, maybe. There's one little piece of tape just holding on for dear life. There we go. Okay, I'm going to grab the outside die. That's going to do our base and the fold it and all that fun stuff. Okay, so we'll get that. And then I will also, I think I'll do this just for the heck of it. I've got the box of dies. We're going to use the large one. This is a combo that I believe was available when we introduced it on HSN a few years ago. But we have on our website, we have the regular size box set. There's a medium. I think this is medium, and there's a small. This is either small or medium, but there's 3 different sizes. The one we'll use today is called the regular box set, and it's the largest one, okay? Just so you know, to give you an idea of what we're using. And pop that out of there. And then we'll move over to our demo table, and I'll switch mics too. Hang on. Oops, lost my mouse. All right, I think you can hear me. Yeah, there we are. I'm going to turn that down 1. And let's move over to our other location here. Hi, we made it. My desk is over here, and we're about 2 feet apart. So we didn't move that much, but it seems like a lot when you got to switch cameras and all that stuff. So that's our box of die. This is the Sailboat. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this through our die cutting machine. I did. Let's see if it's still sounding good right now. I added some. See, listen to that. So right now I'm turning the handle here. Watch. You know, the last few episodes this was getting really squeaky in here, and I was being careful with my plates and everything, but there was just something going on with this handle. And so today when I got to the office, I finally remembered to bring the WD-40, and I just ran a bunch of that in there and just let it soak for a while. I took it outside and put it in a box. So while the oily stuff was just leaking out, it went onto the box. And now listen, no squeaking. It's nice and quiet. Now we'll see what happens when we die cut. But that's a big improvement from when I got here this morning. And so if you have a noisy machine, again, I just took the WD-40 and I was just going crazy with it right in here in the opening. I didn't take it apart or anything like that. I think I lifted it up. I can still see some of the oil there. I lifted it up to try to get underneath, move the machine around a little bit to make sure it was getting in there. It seems to be a success. So let's see what happens now when we die cut. Get that back so you can see it a little bit better. You can kind of see where I'm turning. Let's go a little bit further that way. Okay, that looks good. Got my one cutting pad, and I'm going to fold this cardstock in half because I want to get that fold. And it'd be nice if I could score it a little bit so we get a nice straight line there across the top. That looks good. Excuse me. Let me turn that off again real quick. Okay, back I think. All right, there we go. Now again, we have the options. Here it says, on this spot, it says place fold here. We can do the top, which I'm going to do, or we can do place fold on the side right there. So that is written on the die to help you out, okay? We're gonna go ahead and to make this a folded, this die has to go just a little bit over the edge. You see how there's a little gap there? See, if I cut it here, it would just cut out one side. And I'll show you how we could do that too in a minute. But if I want it to be a folded, I've got to have a little gap there. So this folded will stay in one piece. All right. So I'll show you what happens when we do that. So I'm a little bit over the edge. This part doesn't have to be exact. So I'm not worrying about taping it down or anything like that. And then let's see how our machine does today. I've got that lined up. We'll run that through. Nice and quiet. How about that? Isn't that great? So much quieter than the past, so I'm happy about that. All right, let's see what happened there. Looks like I did good. Get out my cut. Hopefully that went all the way through. Just about got it. There we go. My plates are a little bit bowed, and maybe I need to try to flip them again because it should have cut a little bit better than it did. It's all coming apart, but not as easy as I thought it would. I thought it would just cut it on its own. So let's see what's going on here. Yeah, there's just one little section that's not cooperating. Give me 1 second here. See what's going on. And so I have this one little section right there in the center that didn't quite cut on its own. So I'm just going to trim that out of there. And of course, if I really wanted this to be a nice card, I would redo it. But for us, there's our fold it, okay? And you see you have the edge on the top. That doesn't look too good. So we would want to fix that, all right? We would want to make sure we have a full sail across the top. So what we will do, we'll get another color. I'll grab something else here. Now this time we will just run it through because we want the full die. We don't want any gaps this time around. And I'm going to try these dies, these plates a little bit different this time. We're just going to go ahead and add it that way. No speed bump, a little bit of an angle. And I think I've got both up. See, I want to make sure these are lined up. If my die or my cardstock is off the edge of the cutting plate, it's not going to cut correctly. So I did catch that before I made that mistake. We'll run that through. And I'm using different colors here just so you can see. Now, normally, if we were really making this card for someone, I probably would have ran it through red again. But this will now cover up. See how we had that straight line at the top because of the fold it? Well, that's gone now because we have the full sail. So I'm going to add that to the front here. All right, so some options. We have just a plain old regular sailboat fold it. Okay, yeah, that's the first option. We've got rid of the line up there in the top. It opens at the top. You can add your sentiments, you can decorate, you can use the inside pieces if you want to get different styles, different colors on your sailboat. You have these pieces here of the die that will allow you to paper piece, so that you have that option. That's the folded option. Let's see, if I were to make this a card, let me find a A2 card base here. Hang on. So just say this was my card front, and this is just an A2 card. If I wanted to just add this to the front, I could do that. So that's how you get your card front using the sailboat. You just add it. So I would just adhere it, add some adhesive right there. That would go on that. And then we have one other option. Oh, I was also thinking, you know, this type of die would work really good in a scrapbook page. So if any of you scrapbook, if you know anybody who does, it's a great an easy way to decorate a page on a scrapbook layout. So these would work really well for that. And then the last option was this, the box it. I'll show you how we can do that. So there's the box it option there as well. Let's go ahead and make the box it die. So I can think of at least 4 different ways, and there's probably more. Maybe you could make a, what else could you do with it? You can make a banner out of it. I'm sure you can make a banner with sailboats on it. That would be fun. And I'm starting to run out of ideas, but at least 4 or 5 different ways just right there that you could easily use this sailboat folded die set. So, you know, you think of it as being a folded, but there are large box it die. We're going to run that through real quick. And I'll go back to, again, when I have a large stash of like a strawberry / cranberry color. And so I'm trying to burn through some of that as fast as I can. But I feel like every time I use it, somehow more of it just shows up. I don't know how that, I can't keep up. I probably should send you guys some of this cardstock, right? Maybe you could use it and put it to good use. But it's really nice, whatever it is. I like the color. But eventually we'll have to just give up and just start using some other colors. So there's the box it. Let's see what we got there. And this is really nice because it cuts and scores and does all that fun stuff for you. So here you use your box. You are just going to kind of fold it in. Bring all your little tabs in there. And you might want to, don't have to, but you might want to do the adhesive before you bring in all the tabs on that. That's what I would think. So we've kind of got our fold. It's going to be our shape. It's going to kind of box up like this. If you want to trim it down, you can just cut off an end. If you want it to be a little bit shorter, if you'd rather it to be a little bit taller, you can do more of a bowl shape. Lots of different options with that. Let's get some adhesive on here. And I've got some scratch paper. I'll do that over here. We don't want to get a bunch of adhesive on our cutting pads if we can avoid it, or on our machine. So I've got a bunch of adhesive on here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of shape that up a little bit, show you how we can add that to our... Now it won't adhere really good right away because it needs a little bit of time to sit and hold in place to really get stronger, but I can at least give you an outline of what's going to happen there. So we're going to shape that up, add that there, fold those in, and then I'm just going to, so I'm probably going to want to trim this down because I can see my boat is a little bit short. I'm going to go ahead and take off a couple of those. Cut those off, get our shape there, make sure that's working up, and then we're just going to take it. We're going to start here at the center, kind of press down, and then we'll press down here. And you'll see it's not going to hold, it might not hold together right now because I really need to put a lot of adhesive on here. And I did not put that much. So we'll push down. That should hold in place somewhat. And then I would have my one side ready to go. Then I'd have to run this die through the machine again. Where's my sailboat? Oh, where'd you go, sailboat? There it is. So I would need to run this through one more time in order to get something to add to the back. So if I keep this down, press down real good, then I need to add the other side here. So we still need a panel for that. So we won't go on to that step right now. But again, our finished result would be just like this. You would have two sides, your regular, just one-time cut here, and then you could have the folded option here. You could just do two regulars. You would have both to each side, and then you would have your boxit die that runs through the center. So that gives you some ideas what you could use. Then you could add some treats in there. If you put a little bit of, like I think of at Easter time, you have that grass, that plastic grass. You could put some little candy treats in there. Maybe you want to add a little gift card or something like that. Or they could just be little spots at a table for fun, for decoration. Lots of different things you could do with that. All right. That is the boxit die, along with focusing there on the sailboat fold-it. All right. That is available on the Stamps of Life website. And again, I bet a lot of you have it. All right. From 4 years ago, June of 2020. If you were around at that time, you might have it. If you are new, you might be something you want to get. Let's switch back over here. All right, I'm going to clean up over. I think we've got our sound going. Great. All right. That is our first item. And why I am not showing up here, that is interesting. It's like my camera has frozen in time. I see my chair and I should be sitting in it right there, but I am not. Now this happened last week too. I remember the camera just kind of froze up on its own. So pretend I'm sitting there in that black chair right now. You can hear me, but you can't see me. This is crazy. So I am going to try to fix that real quick. Let me see what I can do, because for some reason my phone is frozen. My phone, which is my video camera right here and should be looking at me right now, is not showing me. So it is weird. Oh, I did find a couple more samples too. I'll show you. Hang on, bear with me 1 second. I am going to try to fix this. I'm going to put the slide up real quick. So hang on. Let's see what's going on here. What can we do? I saw one time earlier today that the camera did blink and then it just came right back. So I'm not sure what is going on. Let's drag that over there. And that's not fixing either. Okay, that's good. Hang on. I'm going to try to fix my camera. I'm still here. Don't give up on me. Let's see. Now it seems like the camera is working correctly, so what has happened here? I'm going to close this camera app, and some of the time, you know, how I told you before, some of the time you just shut everything down. I'm not going to shut everything down, but even with the apps like on our phone, some of the time they just don't work right. And if you close all the apps or turn off your phone and start back over, some of the time that fixes the problem. So I have closed all the apps, and I'm going to reopen the camera, and we're going to see what happens here. Well, let's see if it will allow me back. Hopefully. Please, please say a prayer that this camera works. Okay, I see something. I can see myself now. That's good. Now let's see if I can get it back to where you can see me. Hang on. Okay, I think that's kind of straight. Let's give it a try. I'm going to try to switch over. Here we go. No, we don't want that. Why is it doing that? Oh boy. Let's see. I don't think you guys can hear me either, right? Okay, hopefully we're back, right? Let's see. All right, we're going to try now. Here we go. Nope. Oh, there I am there. Now let's see. Oh, nope, 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 nope. What can I do here? Hang on. Let's see. Ta-da! I made it back. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's try to fix this so I'm not too crooked. Sorry about that. Frozen camera there for a minute, but I think we're back. I don't know if I can get that to be quite straight, but it's kind of chopping my head off a little bit. Oh well. We will go on here. All right, so we looked at the Sailboat. I did find 2 more cards. Let's look at those real quick. We have this one. We kind of get some blue themes. Congratulations on your new arrival. So maybe like a baby type card. And then just a little seize the day. So something, a couple fun extra items there too. All right, that's our first one. Next, we're moving on. We have a collection called Flower to Build. And let me see if I can get the slide for this ready. I'm going to try. Hang on, bear with me. This is cut me off a little bit too much. There we go. I don't like to do this live because it doesn't always work out, but let's give it a try. Nope. Oh. Nope, that's not good. Not good. One more try. That is just going to tip over no matter what. I don't know what's happened. My camera is a little bit off now. It doesn't want to cooperate. Let's see. No, don't go out on me again. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. None of that. All right, guys. So I'm just going to be a little bit crooked. Sorry. Okay. Flower to Build. There are a bunch of stamps that go with this. Stamps and dies. There are 3 different stamp sets. The main stamp set is from, I can at least add that slide in. Flower. And we'll go ahead and turn that one on. Switch her on. So that's Flower to Build from December of 2019. So we're going back a little bit further in time. And there is the main set. This is Flower to Build 1. If you are a club member, you would have received this. And you would have received the dies that go along with it, which is this collection right here. So club members received all of these stamps and dies. Look at all the fun stuff there. Awesome. Then there were some add-ons. And we had, what is this one? This is a die set called, it's like Flower to Build 2 and 3 dies, I believe it is. And that works with either one of these stamp sets. So we had a lot of add-ons for this one, and you can see this has some patterns and some solids in this one, and then a few more sentiments and some smallers, but these 2 sets work with that die set that I just showed you. So this is all from January of 2019, And I did have a question for you about flowers today. Let's see. How do you prefer flowers? Do you like to see flowers that you have grown yourself, like in your own garden? Or do you like to get flowers that are arranged that you can display in your home? So that's my question for you. Which way do you prefer to see flowers? I know a while back we did flowers and we had like, hey, what's your favorite flower? And we took a poll and we had a contest and all that kind of stuff. But my question for you today is, how do you prefer flowers? Do you like to see them growing naturally out in your garden where you've done all the work, or do you just like to have somebody give you a bouquet that you get to display them in your house? Either way, I like them. I know they're a lot of work to make them really pretty and beautiful, so I have a respect for people who can grow really beautiful flowers, right? But I also like to be able to just buy them at Costco, a nice bunch of them, and bring them home and throw them in a vase and have them there really ready to go, right? So hopefully that is a question for you that you can answer. How do you like to have flowers? Fresh in your garden or in a vase and display in your house? That's my question. All right, we are going to go to the website. I think everybody's here with me still, right? This is going quite long again. Let's see. How are we doing on Facebook? Hi, Gail over there, and Ruth and Serenity. Jeffrey says he never sailed, right? Serenity, Gail, great. Beth's here too. Welcome everybody on Facebook. I hope everything is going out still good. I know the cameras probably threw you guys off there for a little bit. My frozen camera, I'm going to work on that to figure out. Maybe I just have to close the app ahead of time next time. I'll figure it out. It's no big deal. Let's see. On the website, I found all of these. If you type in the word flower, the number 2, and then build, you are going to get this page. And it is going to show all of these great options that I just was sharing with you. This will give me a chance to hopefully straighten myself out a bit here while you don't see me. I might have done it. All right, that part looks super. I'm a little bit better. Great. Okay, on our website, you just type in the words you see where up here in the little search. Where the little search is right there, I just typed in flower to build. It will bring up all of these. We'll look at the main set here, the club set. Again, likely that many of you have this all the way back in December of 2019. Maybe you didn't get the add-ons. I do see that the main club set is retiring soon, and then one of the add-ons, and it looks like flower to build 2 and 3 dies will be retiring soon. So if you don't have them yet, excuse me, something you might want to pick up. Let's take a look at some samples here on the website. And there are some great ideas I can show you, hopefully. Come on now. All right, so there was with Steffi Doll on, I think that might be a basic step-up card, center step-up possibly. Here with our, guys have always been popular, the hedgehogs. With some of our bees, you see all the different varieties of flowers you have here. There's a video, we won't watch, excuse me, we won't watch that. Let's go back a page. There should be some more samples here. Let's check out these ones. This is with the club dies. And I see there's a different one there. Lots of different ways you can use this. Great variety with the flowers. And let's find out one more. Let's look at the add-on set here. This one retiring soon. And I do see a few more samples there. So you see a great variety of different ways to use this die set. Super fun. Great. And back to our main set. Let's see if I can find that again real quick. So I wanted to tell you how many stamps you get with that one. So with this main set, you get this club set, 14 stamps. And Remember, our stamps are made in the USA. You're going to get super nice, high quality impressions. And then the die set that comes with it, you get a bunch of dies too. So 14 stamps on this one, the club set, 14 stamps. And then the die set that goes with it, flowers to build. Yeah. That one. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yep, that one. 16 dies. So you get a great selection of dies and stamps in this one. Lots of different things you can do, especially with the add-ons. But even the basic club set gets you a lot of fun possibilities. I have some samples to show you here in person. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. And we'll get our table 2 shot set up there. I'll get a card here ready to go. Some of these I think we did see on the website, and some of these we have not. So let's go ahead and run over to those. Okay, here we go. And I do have a bunch. We'll kind of run through them fast. Looks like they're all on A2 card fronts, but a variety of different ways that you can decorate with them. I see a lot of design team members making patterns out of these flowers. So kind of making their own background, their own pattern background, which is fun. Here's a happy birthday card, and look at that nice background that was created. I think that one is pretty. Now again, in real life this is white, but because of the colors in my room, the white's kind of turning light blue. So just picture that background being white. And I think these colors come out pretty good here on, yeah, that looks nice. Real super bright. These would be super fun for spring birthdays, spring parties, all that kind of stuff, right? And here we have a circle flip it. And if you're not familiar with our flip its, they're an A2 card. And that's coming out. Some of these have had a little bit of wear. They've been moved around a lot. But flip it card, you'll get the motion too. The card will swing open like that. You can add your sentiments on the inside. Of course, you can always personalize. We have personalized stamps on the website. You can add those created by, we have one on here. It's not on that one. Oh, yeah, there's a good one too, where our little penguins on there. Different ways you can add to the back of your card. Did that really say from Frank and Sharon? Let me see. Frank and Sharon, did you make this card for us a long time ago? Maybe you brought it to us at a show, or did you? I see your names are on the back, so how did that happen? Interesting. There must be a story behind that, right? This looks like maybe a, I'm not sure the size of this card. Does anybody know the size of this card? It's not a slim line. That's something different. Does it say on the back? Oh, it is a mini. It says mini slimline. I was wrong. So that is a mini slimline card. And then back to, here's a thank you card. It says thank you for your support and your prayers. And last but not least, we get this yellow and black combination, very pretty. And it's a happy birthday card. And that's it. Great. Let's see, how are we doing on time? It is, I wanted to go too crazy here, 10:55. Still about on the same time schedule. Unfortunately, I'm not quite getting this done as quick as I want. Oh, and I do have this fun video that I wanted to show you. So I will, let's see, I'm not going to die cut these, but I will show you what I was thinking of doing. And just, again, this is just because we're kind of running out of time here. Let me switch over to the table. Okay, and oh, that's not the table we want. So I was thinking, I had my die set ready to go, and some of the things that I had in mind, you know, I've used like the glitter paper before. The here's like a silver and aqua. I could use this shiny type pearl metallic paper to cut out some flowers. You could also do some stripes. You could do some patterns, different ways you could play around with the flowers. And as you do all these different colors, maybe I just want some solid colors. I could have some blue like that. There's some more patterns I was thinking about using, some stripes, like a pearl paper type. Lots of different ways you could cut these dies. And as you mix in, you just run it through a whole bunch of different times, and then you just kind of take all your die cuts, and you just kind of mix and match and layer them. So that is one way you could do that. And you would get a super fun collection of these different shapes, these flower shapes, these designs, and you can layer them. And then all the extra ones, maybe the ones you don't use on your first card, you just kind of keep them in a little stash and a little baggie extra. And so you've ran these through a bunch of times. Now you have all these extra pieces that you could use in the future. So they have the outline, and then they have the inside, so you get the layering options. That is Flower to Build. Okay, this is the main set from the club set. All right. And again, I was just thinking, now I'm not die cutting today, but all these different types of patterns, glitters, pearl paper, just standard size papers. Maybe I want to use some of that extra red that I have there. That would make some great flowers, you know, different combinations that you could come up with. You could be super creative with these, right? That was my idea anyhow. Oh, and I did have this, I was going to do some real small ones with this little like foil and purple grape maybe colored paper. That would have been fun too. So that's something you could do. All right, let me switch that over. Okay, back to me. Okay, then let me find that fun video I saw, and this has to do with making paper roses. So maybe you are into designing some of your own type of art. This is, I think, a fun one. They're going to show us how we could do this with this. Watch this. It takes about a minute. Okay, here we go. I'm going to switch over to camera 3 or to my other computer, and we'll play that. And I'll keep talking here too. Okay, here we go. I've got the volume on. So you can find these short little videos on YouTube. Sometime I just typed in flower and maybe paper flower or something like that, and I found this video right off the bat, and I thought it was kind of fun. So here, I'll play that for you. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit to make sure you can hear. I think it's just background music, but here we go. Well, obviously they speed things up for you a little bit, but look at all those flowers that have already been made. Tracing there. Now let's see, I'm gonna have to cut all that. It's gonna be a little bit of work. Watch the results here. That's pretty fun. She's pretty awesome at that. However, she's rolling it up, right? I don't think that would work out too good for me the first time. The blue. Awesome, right? I think that's pretty awesome. Seems like something we could do. Let me press pause. Whoops. All right, back to me. So it was just something a little extra fun. That must be some kind of thinner type of paper, right? To be able to roll it up like that. Obviously, our cardstock wouldn't work that well. So we will what was I saying? So probably some type of thinner paper, right, to be able to make paper flowers like that. But I thought they were fun. Yeah, Jean says you could use felt. That's a possibility. And Frank is saying they don't remember sending that to Stephanie. It could be. It's got your name on it, so, you know, I would just take credit for it, right, you guys? That's what I think. And let's see, what else do we have? Is Facebook still working here? I haven't seen any comments for a while. I wonder if it is. It says it is live. Let's see. What has happened to Facebook? Did it just stop by itself? Well, if you were on Facebook and it just gave up on you, I don't know what happened. We'll come back. I will post it completely because it doesn't say that I'm not live right now on Facebook. But if you're on Facebook and you got cut off because it looks like you did, I am sorry about that. I don't know. The stream just stopped on its own and it didn't tell me. So I assumed we were continuing on there, but I will repost this video on Facebook so everybody will get a chance to see it again if you want. Let's see. Okay. Everything seems to be going good there. All right, I had that. We looked at the video, a couple flower facts just for fun. Let's see. Oh, did you know that broccoli is actually a flower? I didn't know that. I did not know that broccoli was a flower. Huh. So whether you knew it or not, you actually are eating flowers if you eat broccoli. And then let's see, a flower, roses. I don't know how this could be, but roses are related to apples, raspberries, cherries, plums, pears, peaches, nectarines, and almonds. How they're related, I don't know. And how they figure out how they're related, I don't know. If you don't have enough onions around the house, you can use this is kind of weird to me, a tulip bulb. So if you're short on onions, but you happen to have a tulip bulb just lying around, you can add that to your meal. Seems kind of unusual to me, but let's see what else. Yeah, the broccoli. Oh, thistles. Do you guys ever see those thistles? They're super. Let me see if I can show you this picture. Thistles, those little purple flowers there. When I was a kid, my grandpa owned a big property back in Missouri. And he paid me and my cousin one year to go out in the fields and cut these thistles down. They would just take over the fields. They're just these purple ones down here. There you see the broccoli flower. These thistles, and those needles around there are super, super sharp. And you would have to cut off the tops because all these turn into seeds and then they would just spread like crazy. So he sent us out there to cut these down. And oh wow, they hurt, number one. And number two, they grow like crazy. So if you have thistles, you're in big trouble. They would take over his property. He had cattle out there that would graze in the fields, and the thistles would like take over the grass that he wanted to feed the cattle. And so we did that one summer, and it was a tough job. It was super hot and humid. It was not fun. We did it, and we probably did about 20% of what he wanted. We were like around 12 or 13, and I think we quit. Or we gave up at some point, or he let us give up and quit because it was like way more of a daunting task than we thought, because there were so many of them growing, and they just grow like weeds. They go like crazy. Let's see, other plants, see if we find anything else interesting here. It takes 2,000 roses to produce 1 gram of rose oil. I've never actually even heard of rose oil, so I'm not sure what it'd be used for, but that's a lot of flowers to create just 1 ounce. So a few flower facts. Flowers are beautiful. There's one that makes a weird smell. Roses, we talked about those. Let's see. There's vitamins in dandelions. It says dandelions. I don't think none of these pictures are. There's a dandelion, right? I think that is. Dandelions might be weeds, but flowers and leaves are actually a very good source of vitamins A, C, iron, calcium, and potassium. So there you go. If you're really hungry and you want to eat healthy, like just go out in your yard and just dig up a few weeds and just, I don't know. I guess you just eat them. Probably because if you cook them, you're going to cook all the vitamins out of them, right? But I don't know. Stephanie's tortoise Yubi eats some of those type of weeds. That's just for animals like that. I don't want to eat the weeds out of my yard. But anyhow, yeah, I guess roses are edible, right? But I've never had the desire to eat a rose or a dandelion weed or any of those things. But if you guys want to, you are welcome to. I'm not recommending that because I don't know what will happen after you eat that. But if you want to give it a try, have fun, and then you tell us what happened. Hopefully everything worked out good. But I don't recommend doing that. But you can eat dandelions. You can eat roses. Go for it, right? Okay, so we went through all of our stamps and dies today. We saw some great card samples using the Sailboat and the Flower to Build collection. We are going to move on to our good news section. We are opening up our Bibles. Exodus chapter 20, and this will be our first week in the 10 Commandments. Exodus 20, and I think it's verse 3 is where we want. So going back to the Old Testament, of course, all the Bible is really important, Old Testament or New. So the Old Testament is prior to Jesus, and then we have a little bit of gap when we're not sure, it's kind of a quiet time, and then Jesus is born in the New Testament, and then we get the Gospels, and then the letters like the epistles that Paul or some of the other apostles wrote, and then that goes up through the book of Revelation where it ends. So if you start at the beginning of the Bible, you're in Genesis. If you go all the way through the end, you're to Revelation. The whole Bible, Jesus says, is about him. So we're always looking for ways that we can find Jesus in the Old Testament and New Testament. Of course, in the Gospels, we're going to find him. So that part is easy. But today we're in Exodus 20, which is the Old Testament. This is the time of Moses. God was bringing the people out of Egypt. They had been in slavery for something like 400 years. He's promised to bring them out. Now's the time they are out in the desert, wandering around, and God is having this conversation with just Moses and himself, and he gives these 10 commandments that are for the people. They're to be kind of a guideline for how we are to live. And all of these commandments come up again in the New Testament as commandments we should follow today, except for the Sabbath. The Sabbath is spoken about in the Bible, in the New Testament, but it's not something we're really commanded to strictly follow, as far as the Sabbath is traditionally Friday night to Saturday night. But as for us in the New Testament, or living in the times now where we're following Jesus, we have the option. We can take a Sabbath, a day of rest, anytime. And we probably would be wise to do that. So in a few weeks, we'll get to that and we'll talk about it some more. But for today, and let me get my glasses here, verse 3, it says, and I'll start at verse 1. So God, I have this verse too. Whoops, hang on. Sorry, guys. I forgot to switch myself back over. There I am. Let me get the verse up too. Sorry about that. We are in Exodus. If you have your Bible, let me find the slide. I'm going to get rid of that one there. Sorry, I'm a little off today. Okay, you shall have no other gods before me, it reads, and that is verse 3. And just prior to that, it says, now I lost my glasses. Yeah. Okay, I got my glasses back. And it says, so God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And then the first commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. Right. That's a great way to start. So the commandments, they're kind of divided into two sections. The first, let's go ahead and switch me back over here. The first being, the first 4 commandments kind of deal with our relationship with God, and then the next 6 commandments kind of deal with our relationships with people. So the number one thing is that we are to have no other gods except God. And so there's kind of 2 different ways to look at that. And it says, I wrote down a couple notes here. God is to be very first in everything that we do. And that makes sense, right? So that's one perspective, one way we can look at it. And then the second is also looking at it as, God is just supreme in our lives, and there's nothing else that even is close to him. So we're not even allowing anything in our lives to rival God's importance in our life. So there's 2 different ways. There's one way that we're just making sure that God is first in everything. And then the second way to look at it again is just, nothing is even getting close to our relationship with God. And so when I look at this, we understand that God's got to be first. That's very understandable, something we know. But it's then how do we go out and do we live that way? That's the important thing. When we go to work, do we make sure that God is a part of our work life? When we go to school, are we bringing God with us? As we are a husband or a wife, a parent or a grandparent, are we having all these relationships, all these interactions with the understanding that my responsibility is to make sure that I put God first in all these things. And as I'm doing that, it should be causing me to live up to a higher standard, right? I want to do the things that please God. Since Jesus being God, I would ask myself, how would Jesus do this? How would Jesus work? How would Jesus be a student? How would Jesus be a friend? And so I'm looking for ways that I can follow that and follow the example of how Jesus lived, how he treated people, how he had relationships, everything done with that priority of how can I do all these things with the idea that I'm going to please God. That is the main goal, right? And so Jesus kind of spoke about that. If you go to Matthew chapter 6, and it is verse 24, Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. I like to see where Jesus also spoke on kind of this commandment, and he said, and so this is super important, Matthew 6, verse 24, he says, "No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon." So in here, the case is kind of God and money. Mammon is kind of like another name for money. But our question would be, is there something that is getting close to dominating our lives in such a way that we would have to question, am I serving God alone primarily, or is there something that's getting close to pushing God out and making him second? So we would want to be careful not to ever let our job or let a relationship or let a career or maybe pleasurable things we do, fun things we do, we would never want to let those things become more important than God, right? So that is the main point. There is a great song, I think it's back from maybe the 70s or 80s, and I looked it up. If you type in, I think the title of it is called "To Keep Your Lovely Face," and it talks about there's no rival thrones, that we're only focused on God, and it's a really beautiful song. I think the writer was Bob Fitts, but it's sung by tons of different churches, and you can find that on YouTube. So if you just search "To Keep Your Lovely Face" by Bob Fitts, and again, you might find it in different versions. It's really great, and it just talks about, I'm only going to serve God. Nothing else is going to rival my relationship with God. But in doing so, and making sure that that's true, that everything else is going to be better. If we figure out a way to put God very first in everything, then all these other things, all these other parts of our life are going to come together, and that will be able to bring glory to the Lord. If I want to go out and try to live for money or material things or pleasure or anything that I want to allow to become more important to God, things are just going to eventually fall apart or not turn out so good. So we want to make sure God is very first. That is the first commandment. Commandment number 1, you shall have no other gods before me. So we will wrap it up there. I hope this is working. I haven't seen any comments for a while on YouTube, but I will be re-uploading this again. And it seems like everything on my end seems to be working. I know Facebook just disappeared, sadly. But for those of you again on Facebook, I'll get this posted again and we will make it work out. All right, that is it. I hope you all have a great day. Let's see, a reminder. Number 1, we want to go out and live and enjoy life, right? God's blessed each of us, so let's enjoy the blessings that God has placed before us. As far as stamps of life stuff we have, let's see, I did have a couple notes here. Might as well flash those up real quick. The Die Hard Club shipment is coming out this Saturday. If you want to get in the Die Hard Club, there's still time to do it. That's our most popular club, all right? And you can get the stamps and dies together, or if you just want to do Stamp Club, maybe you're new to the Stamps of Life, you can just get a stamp set sent to you. That's going to go out this Saturday, June 1st, a brand new collection. There will be new items on the website Friday night that kind of coordinate with that, all right? So watch for that. And then, if you are not aware, let's see what else. This last Saturday, we had, we can pop that up. The Fold It Club came out this last Saturday. So if you are in the Fold It Club, The stencils and dies were all sent out to you. There's tons of different ways you can use this collection. I hope you can figure out some fun ways to do it. That will be that is available on the website currently. If you want to join that club, that's available to you. Again, they were mailed on Saturday, so I bet some of you might start getting them very shortly. And then lastly, on Stephanie's Crafting Corner, we're trying to do sneak peeks each week. And we should have some fun sneak peeks this Thursday night at 5 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. So I hope you can join us there. We will have a fun time. There might be sneak peeks for the items that are coming out Friday. That's what I would guess. I never know what's going on in Stephanie's mind, so she might have a surprise. But that will be our plan, to have a sneak peek on Thursday. And let's see what else. That is about it. We are right again around our hour and 15. Thank you for joining me today for Take Two Tuesday. We had a fun time looking at the Sailboat. Lots of different options that you can do with that fold collection. And then we saw the flower to build. Again, I bet a lot of you have these items, and I just want to encourage you to get them out and use them again, all right? That would be the best thing you could do. Get your money's worth out of them and have some fun. Sometime when something just been put away for a while and then you break it out again, it's really more interesting. Maybe you got tired of using it from the past, but now you see it again and it's kind of like new to you, right? So that is really something fun about older things. Sometimes that happens like with a video game or some music. For me, something from the past, and I hear it again, and I break it out, and even though I know I had used it before and I got bored with it back then, now that I'm reusing it or re-listening to it or replaying it, it's just kind of fun again. So I think that works the same way exactly with the stamps and dies, right? So great. Okay, have a wonderful day, all of you. If you will like this, if you do like it, I would appreciate it. Hearts or any of that stuff. Comments, again, I've been reading the comments and trying to answer some of those. If you have questions, post those in the comments below. Maybe next week I'll try to have some kind of comment competition or question or something there where we can really post them there. But for this week, if you just add any comments, it helps us to get noted. So especially, like, I know my viewers are a lot lower for this episode, but if you comment on the Crafting Corner or No Makeup Monday after the episodes are over, we love it. That really helps us to get noticed, that there's some interaction, gives us a chance to respond to some of you, and helps us to get more noticed on YouTube, and then hopefully our videos get sent out to some people who aren't aware of us. So that is our goal. But have a wonderful day, great day. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope, except for you poor people, well, I don't know, maybe it's just meant to be on Facebook. You weren't meant to watch the whole episode. I don't know what happened on Facebook, but on my end, everything was working good, but Facebook decided to cut me off. But anyway, we made it through the whole episode on YouTube. Wonderful. All right, have a great rest of the day. I am going to sign off. If I can get my slide ready to go. I will see you next week, okay? Or Thursday night. Take care. Bye-bye.